What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. He is former UF MMA champion Pius Inalalobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. And I'm according to Woods. And this Saturday is UFC 260, and it's highlighted by a heavyweight title fight against the Predator, Francis Ngannou, against Stipe Miocic, who is the current reigning and defending UFC World Heavyweight Champion. But we're going to get into it. Voodoo, what's good?
Chilling, man. Just hanging out. Took my dog to the park today to work on some obedience and patience or whatever. I had a good time. Making good, slow progress, but we're making progress.
Hey, Progress is a professional wrestling company in Ireland. And in terms of you, and the dog getting patience, were you just playing him Guns N' Roses? Like Guns N' Roses' patience out the window while he was trying to like chase their cars? No, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. Don McGuire says, "Sup, homies? What's going on, Don McGuire?" And you
What's
should
up,
definitely
John?
check out Don McGuire's his page because he has none other than Big Joe Daddy Stevenson on his podcast. So definitely want to check that out on the interwebs. But
Cobra Kai.
UFC, yes, Cobra
Cobra
Kai,
Kai now.
yes, sir. So obviously UFC 260. How excited are you about this one?
There's only 10 fights on this card. I'm a little disappointed in regards to that, but just because there's no quantity doesn't mean there won't be quality. Okay, so we still have some pretty good fights left on this card, and potential fight of the night candidates are on this card. So I'm keeping an open mind. Right, we have some veterans on this card like Shane Young, Alonzo Menafield. Uh, that fight that we've been waiting for, Miranda Maverick and Jillian Robertson in here. Thomas Almeida, whom I love so much, against Sean O'Malley. You know what I'm saying? So Tyron Williams in here, and then we got that ultimate rematch. So we've got some good candidates here. We lost some, but we've got some good ones that remain. So let's go.
Let's go. So starting off the night, we have Germany's Abu Azatar. Abu Azatar. We know this guy. He's fought. Coming in with a 14-2-1 record, and he's going up against Canada's Marc Andre Barriault, who sports a 11-4 record. Abu Alitzar? Azatar. My God. The Gladiator. He is coming off of a big win, unanimous decision win. Actually, no, he hasn't fought in 2 years. Fuck that. Fuck what I was saying. So his last time that we saw him in the octagon was at UFC Fight Night 134 back in 2018, and he was supposed to face earlier last year Alicio Di Chirico as well as Numanza Joaquin Buckley, right? But those fights got canceled, so here we are with Marc Andre Barrial as his opposition. Marc Andre, he, the power bar, is making hopefully better. I mean, he hasn't won in the UFC at all. He's lost to Andrew Sanchez, Christoph Jocko, Junyon Park, all by decision. And his last wins coming in a promotion that he is actually double champion of is TKO promotions. So he basically TKO 41, 43, and 44 all wins, but those coming back in 2017 and 2018 respectively. But he has gone nil when it comes to competition in the UFC. So Voodoo, who you got?
This one is a little tough to call, but at the same time, it's not that difficult. One man has a lot of stress on his mind, and that's the loser. Well, he's not necessarily a loser. I spoke wrong. He's not a loser. He's been on a losing streak, is what I meant to say. and that kind of pressure, man. 3 fight losing streak in the UFC. Now you got another dude, and you must beat this guy. I mean, first of all, you're lucky enough to have a fourth opportunity in the UFC. Now it's a guy that's been gone since 2018, right? For whatever reason, could be injury, whatever. I don't really look into that kind of stuff. I don't care, you know. But now he's back. He's back, but he's gonna win. He's used to winning, right? There's no stress on his mind. Yeah, there's a little stress that he has to win. He has to beat this guy in order to move on to the next round. But he's on a losing streak. His opponent, however, Barrialt, whatever his name is on a losing streak, and the stress is all on him, right? I'm picking the winner, the one that's used to winning, Azatar, the gladiator, to bring this one home. These two gentlemen are not really used to fighting on the ground. I've checked their record. I don't see any submission victories. I see either knockout or unanimous decision. So expect this one to be a banger. I go on a limb because one is on his way out. Really, he's on his way out, and the other is on his way back. I will go on the limb and call this our very first fight of the night candidate.
Wow,
Yes, but I am
that's
picking the
bold.
gladiator to win.
Okay, I like it. Donald Guard has an interesting theory. They had to fill a slot. That's the reason why we're getting this. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be all that great. I think this might be a lay and pray. They're gonna try and feel each other out for 3 rounds up until you get to the third round, and that final clapper, whatever, and you will see the most action in that 10 seconds than you did the 14 minutes and 50 seconds prior to that. That
Hey, however it goes, I'm looking forward to a banger. I've
okay?
looked into the Mystic Voodoo, uh, Mystic Voodoo.
That needs to be trademarked. Mystic Voodoo. Now what? Now all we need is a product. What the hell is Mystic Voodoo? I don't know. Jesus. Sells itself, I think. So, so yeah,
I
I
don't know,
think
man. I don't know. I see a slugfest coming though. I don't know why, but I see a slugfest between these two. What do you see?
yep. So what I see, because you said this one, in your opinion, this thing is going to be a banger. I know there's a product called Chicken Bangers, and it's edible. I don't know why. Chicken Bangers. And I'm sure what happens to your stomach and internal organs after you consume a chicken banger, right? It's not going to be good. I think it's going to be the internal, like, what is it, decipherment of this fight. Honestly, that if it's going to be a banger, it's that. It's what happens to your stomach and internal organs, your digestive tract, if you will, after watching this fight. Like this, that's what we're gonna get. It's gonna be. You're gonna want to get a tequila. You're gonna be glad this is on ESPN. You know. But I mean, this is not even. We're not even into the Woodley fight here, but. Yeah, we are. I mean, here we are. So
Not
I
even.
wanna, yeah. Yeah, a new strain of bud. Could be. You don't know. Could be. I mean, again, Dana's getting into the mushrooms and all that and whatever, and not finding people for it. So I don't know, man. But that's wherever that will lead you. That's where I want to be when this fight takes place. Like I want to, I don't know, be on a rocket ship with like Jerry Garcia's ashes or something like that. Like I just want to be as far away from this thing as feasibly possible. Now I hope I'm wrong. You could absolutely be right. I hope I'm wrong, but there we go. That's my assessment. But I also will go with the German Alzatar, just because. Yeah,
The
why not?
the gladiator.
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 The Gladiator on a 3-fight losing streak. 10 points. And again,
The
I'm
other
not.
guy's on a losing streak.
Oh,
Mark Anthony's on a losing streak.
wait, Mark Anthony? Like JLo's ex? Yeah, like you sang to me? I need to know. I really need to know. Tell me Voodoo now, because I need to know, is what I'm saying. No. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Abu, actually, you're right. He is on a winning streak that's literally lasted since 2015 pre UFC at GMC. It went through ACB, went through World Series of Fight into the UFC, but again, he hasn't fought in the UFC or anywhere since 2018. So yeah, winning streak, losing streak. Let's go with the Gladiator. Why not?
They're gonna
Not Russell Crowe.
winning streak like 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 you said, winning streak, losing streak. They're about to meet in the middle, and it's gonna be a clash of the Titans. I foresee that in this particular first round.
Yeah, so we will see. We will see. So, consensus pick with Azatar. Azatar. As we move, we are going to Azatar ourselves way up to the second fight of the night. It is Shane Young from City Kickboxing, 13-5, against Omar Morales. Right, and Omar Morales, almost near perfect record, 10-1. Last fighting Giga Chikadezi, do a dollop a daisy. But that was in September of last year, or I'm sorry, October of last year. He lost the decision, but has a win over Gabriel Benitez and Dun Hyun Ma in 2019 and 2020, respectively. Now, Shane Young, and we're not confusing him with Shane Young from Hear No Evil, See No Evil, the great comedy with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. That's a different Shane Young. This is,
Yep.
yeah, that Shane Young doesn't fight, but this one from Israel Adesanya's camp definitely does. Shane Young, Smoking as he calls himself, is on a same deal. Was on a bit of a 2-fight win streak until he went up against Ludwig Klein, and he lost because he got KO'd in the very first round. I almost predict the same thing is going to happen when he steps in with Omar. Omar is going to KO him. So that's my pick. KO, actually unanimous decision. Won Omar Morales.
Yes, yes, yes. I as well. I'm going with Omar Morales for one reason. Omar Morales is a dynamic striker. Shane Young has kickboxing ability, but primarily he is a boxer. You know what I mean? That's his bread and butter, which is fine. Nothing wrong with boxing. You can catch anyone, you know. But Omar has the ability to use that lead leg, like I like, you know. So anyone that's got that ability, that's a hole right there because it's creeping up from underneath. It's like an uppercut. So those who are able to use that lead leg properly have an advantage that others don't have. So I'm also going with Omar Morales to sneak one in there, man, and get that W. How he wins, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Worst case scenario, I see a split decision. And surprisingly, this is my second pick for fight of the night.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fights. Oh yeah.
Don McGuire says gonna be a Smokey and Debo moment. Damn, you got knocked the fuck out. Could be.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Most definitely agree, Don McGuire. These two are primarily strikers. Neither one take the other down. Neither one is looking to take the other down. So let's go. We'll meet you. Well, they're gonna meet in the middle of the cage. Someone is gonna take that center of the cage, and the other one is probably gonna run around and find his way in and out, in and out. But it's gonna go down. Mark my words. These first two fights are gonna be fire.
Yep. Well, guess what? Here's something that I'm going to mark it, and this is your literal word, and I'm going to mark your word. 100%. 100%. So, right off the back, we have two Fight of the Night candidates here, as said by Voodoo. So, one thing that I am going to look forward to is pronunciating the names of the next two fighters on the card in the 205-pound division, light heavyweight division, as it's known. Michael Oleksiejczuk, that's what I'm going with, of Poland, 14-4 record, going up against Modestas Bukauskas, as I like to better call him, Modelo Bukaki. There you go. 11-3-1, right? Modestas, not Bukakis, the Baltic Gladiator from Baltar. I almost said Baltar. That's like a fucking Disney movie. Holy shit. I need to calm down. But he's coming off of a loss to Jimmy Crute. He's coming off of a loss, got KO'd by Jimmy Crute, but up until that, he was winning. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 fight win streak. Spanning, God, 3 different promotions: Cage Warriors, Fight Star Championship, as well as the UFC. Right. So on the other side, we have Mr. Mikhail Lord, right? Not the singer Lord, but another Lord. But losing 2 straight to OSP, Ovinson Peru, and Jimmy Crute. So both gentlemen got finished by the same person. Modestas got KO'd by Jimmy Crute, and then Mikhail, the Lord, got submitted by Kimura. That's just weird to say that the Lord got submitted by Kimura, but that's where we're at. So, God, this might this fight right here in the first one, they could win the Tyron Woodley Stephen Wonderboy Thompson Award for being the most least entertaining fights of the night. I think they both got finished by Jimmy Crute. What do we have here? This is the match of the losers. Let's go. Yeah.
These are some big boys at 205 light heavyweight. There's going to be some intense power here. I do not see anything spectacular happening between these dudes. If someone got knocked out, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. It's a coin flip here, man. It's a coin flip. I can't even call it. I flip my coin. I still can't call it.
I'm going with Modelo Bukaki, just because.
I'll pick the Lord.
Okay, it's good with you to get right with the Lord. Get right with the Lord. Especially, when they want to, certain fighters have certain rituals that they like to do and whatever, and they're like, hey, I want to thank the whatever. Like, the Lord is going like, yeah, I'm not doing anything Saturday night. I'm going to pick some fights. But what happens when the other guy in the other team are doing the same? That's a clash of the titans, is what I'm saying. So,
hey, man. Hey. The Lord is going to be Modesta's shepherd.
Yep. The Lord versus Modelo Bukaki.
Let's go.
We're gonna go. We're definitely gonna go. We're going up in the card, down in weight. We've got Jared Gooden, 17-5. This is the welterweight division. The night train is Jared Gooden. Jared Gooden just lost to our friend Alan Joban. So There's nothing against that. But up until then, he was on a 3-fight winning streak in Island Fight, Empire FC, and Titan FC. So a 3-fight win streak in 3 different promotions, and then the promotional debut lost to Alan Joban. Right.
Yes, indeed.
So on the other side of the docket, we have Ab- Abu Abukar
Abubakar.
Nurmagomedov. Yes,
Abubakar Nurmagomedov.
isn't this Habib's fam? Right?
It's Abib's cousin. Abubakar.
Yeah. There you go. Gesundheit. Yeah. And he lost to David Zawada, right? But won at PFL, and was actually ranked number 6 in the PFL tournament back in 2018 with a unanimous decision win over Jonathan Weston, right? But it's weird to come from a famous family, right? Because maybe it's so fresh in the mind because I saw it in like fighters that did some dumb shit outside of the cage and whatever. And Fedor's brother, right? Alexander came up in this particular video, right? And I'm not saying that, because there's a lot about Alexander Emelianenko that could be said. But just in terms of like fight acumen, maybe he's the Jackson that can't sing, the Osmond that can't sing or dance, right? He's, and he'll kind of be like the mid Carter, a curtain jerker, right? But he has a respectable 15-3-1 record. I don't know, man. What do you got?
Well, the game plan here is going to be quite simple. I mean, granted that Khabib is their new head coach. I mean, everyone from that line, the Nurmagomedov line, they all bow down to Khabib now. So it's quite simple what the game plan is. Khabib can't strike. I mean, he can't strike. There's only one thing that he does really well. There's only one thing that he's an outlier in, and that's wrestling. Dagestani wrestling. So expect a whole lot of Dagestani handcuff, drag you to the ground, ugly fight. That's what I predict. Jared Gordon, he's an explosive human being. He's never lost by submission, right? But
Right.
he has lost by unanimous decision. I'm guessing, he was controlled on the ground. But he's an explosive human being. Does he have the capability of knocking out Abu Bakr? Yes, he does. But will he be able to? This is the question. This is the question. I am not sure. I'm not sure. It is not Khabib that's going to be in that cage. But at the same time, that Nurmagomedov name, man, respect. When you hear that name, you just have to respect that wrestling. And I'm sure Jared Gordon or Gooden, he will be respecting that name. And that might be the edge Abu Bakr needs to get ahead. So I will go with Abu Bakr to win this one by control on the ground, split decision. At the worst case scenario, split decision. I do not see him finishing Jared Gordon, but I do see him winning the fight by no less than split decision.
Yep. I'm going with the black car too. No? No. Yes. But Abu Bakr, assalamu alaikum. So there you go. I'm going with you, just because. I mean, Dagestani wrestlers, man. Like, I don't think there's going to be anything that Gooden has that could, whether it be this guy, this Gooden, Jared Gooden. You could put what's the basketball player? There's a Dwight Gooden. It could be John Gooden that is doing the UFC stuff over in the UK. No matter what Gooden, whatever. Against a Nurmagomedov is always going to win. So, yeah, I got decision win. And again, another,
It's going to be boring.
It's going to be fucking horrible. Yeah, so, yeah.
The only thing that could be exciting about this particular match is a flying knee knockout or an uppercut of some sort that's gonna make people say, "Oh!" But outside of that, for the
Yep.
match.
Absolutely. So we've got the Nurmagomedov gentleman. So kudos to you. That's a consensus pick. Now, I think this is going to be the first and the most talked about knockout that we're going to see on this card. Definitely worthy, not karma worthy. We'll get to him later, but definitely worthy of the main event slot of the prelims. We have Alonzo Menifield against a short notice Fabio Chenrat. Now, Alonzo Menifield, 9-2, former LFA veteran, training out of. Whoa, that's weird. He's training out of Saxon Muay Thai, right? So, LFA veteran, Dana White Contender Series veteran, and lost. He's on two straight losses against Devin Clark and Ovin St. Pure. Devin Clark got the unanimous decision. Ovins essentially KO'd him in the second round last year in September. Now, on the other side, we've got Fabio. Yes, he's Fabio, the water buffalo, because that's what you do. You think about water buffaloes, you think about Fabio. No, nah, not at all. But he's training with Joe Lozon, right? He has a unanimous decision win over Myron Dennis, UG. Yes, UG. Eric Murray, right? So 3 straight wins in 3 different promotions, right? So that, but he's coming in short notice against a guy who's known to basically knock you into another atmosphere in Alonzo Menifield. So I've got Alonzo Menifield first round KO. It's either gonna I want to say first round KO, but then I also my gut tells me second round. Either way, it's not going to a third. We're gonna get a finish, probably the first finish of the night, probably the only finish of the night. Honest to goodness. But yeah, I'm going with KO Alonzo Menifield.
I can see why. I can see why. Alonzo Menifield is a terrifying individual. Atomic Menifield. Atomic. When he hits you, it's like Nagasaki and Hiroshima. You know what I mean? When he hits you. In your brain, in between your skull, in between your ears. Your brain rocks and shakes, rattle and roll when he hits you. But Clark, he had a lot of grappling issues against Devin Clark. Devin Clark got hit real hard, but Devin Clark kind of hung in there, and then he initiated that grappling. That grappling was a problem. That grappling was a problem. Now he's in there. I mean, he got after Devin Clark, he went in there and ran into Ovin St. Preux. Ovin, bigger, taller, longer man, was able to catch him slipping, right? But now he's in there with Fabian. Fabio, Mr. Water Buffalo. Mr. Water Buffalo, I'm checking out his record, but the man's got nothing but submission victories. He's got guillotines, rear naked chokes, guillotine. The man loves to take your back. He will take your back. Flying knee, he lost to a flying knee. So, anaconda choke, he's an established grappler. Who did you say he was training with? Joe Lozon?
Yeah,
Joe
Lozon.
He's a master of submission himself. He will knock you out when he gets the opportunity, but he is a master of submission. Now, I mean, looking at this kid's record, man, he's only got 1 loss. Maybe he put his head down like that and he ran into that knee. I'm guessing Mr. Menifield is going to be trying to initiate the same or replicate the same thing Alexa Kamur did, which is some kind of knee or some sort of significant damage to stop the assault of the water buffalo. But you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and pick the water buffalo to sneak this one out and get a submission victory in the 3rd round.
I like it. Holy shit. You compared Alonzo Menifield's punching power to Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Shit. Good lord.
Between your ears.
Fucking hell. Oh my god. That's okay. I mean, no Cuban Missile Crisis. No Chernobyl. This shit'll make 3 generations of your family get deformed. What the fuck?
Straight up. Straight up.
Jesus.
It'll knock your RNA into next week. not to talk
Your
about your DNA.
ar-
Hey, you thought that COVID vaccine was gonna do something to you? Let Mr. Menifee hit you one good time. You'll see what's up. Turn you inside out.
like a fucking Disney movie. Oh, Jesus. Oh no. Oh no, he went there. Okay. Shit. I don't, where does it go from here? I don't know, man. Ah. I know. We're in the main card, right? So with that one, he's got Fabio, Fabio Fabian, the Water Buffalo. Against a Mike Cato pick, Alonzo Menafield, that'll hit you as hard as a nuclear disaster twice and or the COVID vaccine. Oh God.
Hey, Alonzo would knock your RNA crooked, straight up.
Wait, RNA? I know what I know what a RNC is. So is that a rear naked ass? Knock you quicker than a rear naked ass.
Hey, the water buffalo better move. He better be on his P's and Q's. Otherwise, he's going to sleep. Straight up. But I'm still gonna pick the water buffalo to shock the world. The water buffalo.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So water buffalo for you and Menafield for me. So there you go. Now that is the final fight on the prelims. Now kudos to fucking the UFC because they are going to be charging everyone who views this a full $90 for 4 fights. 4 fights. That's what we get. Like we were, when this card was announced, there was supposed to be 3 title fights, right? The second this year that the UFC has been able to kind of do, but that one went over like a fart in church, right? Only one title change hands, and that being on a DQ, which what the fuck, right? And then we were supposed to have, the Zhang Wei Li defending against Rose. Didn't have that, obviously. Then somebody in the champ Volkanovski's corner basically tested positive, so we don't get that either. So fuck, man. So yeah, here's the main card, the pay-per-view card. We start off with literally Worthy versus Malarkey. I can't make this shit up. Because based on the next 4 fights, you're going to believe what you paid your hard-earned money $90 for is either Malarkey or worthy of such a price, right? But we've got Jamie Malarkey. I'm not making this shit up. Oh my God. But we've got Malarkey on a 2-fight skid. Unanimous decision loss to Brad Riddell, and then a unanimous decision loss to Fares Ziam back in 2019 and 2020 respectively, right? And he's going up against Karma Worthy, right? 16-7 is Karma Worthy, the Death Star. Now, the Death Star, man, he lost 2 at King of the Cage and BTC in 2016 and 2017 respectively, but then went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight, 7 fight losing streak. I mean winning streak. I'm sorry, winning and losing. I'm getting the 2 confused. But 7 fight winning streak, right? until he goes up against Otman Altazar and loses via KO. And that was one that we actually thought that he was going to win. He was definitely
Yep.
going to win, but Otman had other plans, right?
Too much
So
speed. Too much hand speed.
absolutely.
Too much hand speed. Yeah.
So Malarkey versus Worthy. Who you got, Voodoo?
One thing we know about the Death Star is kill or be killed. That's how he operates. All his losses have been by knockout. First round and second round knockout. However, his opponent is bringing an interesting skill set. He's got rear choke victories, arm triangle victories. He's got knee victories, many, many different kinds of victories, right? Uh, but also he's lost to these. So one thing that we know that Karma Worthy is bringing to the table are these right here. So the question now is Jamie Malarkey, is he gonna go in there and try and strike this fella, or is he gonna immediately initiate some of that grappling prowess that he has? Uh, if I was his coach, I would advise him to not stand very much with the Death Star because he will die. You know what I mean? Going up against the Death Star. The Death Star he's got some of the most powerful hands in the business, and he will put your lights out. So the smart thing for him to do is to get in there and initiate some serious grappling. I mean, of course, strike, right? I'm not saying don't strike. Strike until you Jedi mind trick your opponent and then immediately switch and take him down. Kind of like GSP used to do, right? GSP would take a little damage. He'll take a little damage and then initiate that takedown, and then you can't get back up, right? Get the opponent comfortable striking, and then take him down. Kind of like how the Icelander took out uh, what's the Nigerian kid's name? Adesanya, right? Got him comfortable, and then boom, he initiated the takedown, right? So this is what Malarkey has to do. This is what he has to do to get a W here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. Is he going to be disciplined enough to stick to the game plan? Is this his game plan? All this will be proven and come fight night. But put my money on somebody. I gotta go with the Death Star. He's got a higher probability of landing that heavy shot than his opponent has submitted him. So I will go with the Death Star to finish this in third round.
Yeah, I like it. I like it even better that the Polish power Jan Blachowicz is Icelandic. So with that superior assessment, I also will go with.
Hey, Polish, Iceland, it's cold. Same difference.
It's Chicago. It's Chicago somewhere. Damn it.
They got a lot of snow.
Colorado, UK. What up?
hey, all I know is in Iceland and Poland, the water freezes.
There you
You
go.
can go skating. You can go skating on the ice once it freezes. So hey, same difference. Same difference. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. You know what? I'm gonna flip the coin the other way. I love your assessment of Worthy. No, I'm going with Worthy. Fuck it. No, I'm going with Worthy. I was gonna say Ottman to give him a. No, fuck it. No, Iceland, Poland, somewhere shit freezes. That's all I need to know. Has nothing to do with the fight, but I'm siding with the fucking the fucking brain trust that uttered such a brilliant thing. So I'm gonna fucking go with that. We're going karma worthy with whatever way that you said that he's gonna win. Because I ain't stupid enough. There you go.
Knockout, baby.
Third round knockout. Third round knockout. Which we may not see any sort of anything in this one here because we have Jillian Robertson, as we are talking here because shit can change when tomorrow comes. You know, wake me up when September ends is what Green Day said, and we're probably going to need somebody to wake us up after this particular fight. But we have Jillian Robertson against Miranda Fear the Maverick, and the Savage Jillian Robertson. It's a paradox because she's an Instagram influencer, but her name is Savage. So I don't know, but 9-5. She's almost a 50-50 record, right? And she's going up against the nearly flawless Miranda Maverick. I'm going to go with Miranda Maverick just because I think her nickname absolutely plays a part. I think that there's a bit of fear that one Jillian the Savage Robertson has over Fear the Maverick. So I'm going to go with Miranda Maverick. Don't even know how it's going to happen. Don't even care what's going to happen. It might be decision. I'm going to say decision. But yeah, Miranda Maverick all the way.
Yes, yes. I cannot argue with you on this particular one. One thing that we know about Jillian Robertson is she's got dynamic, excellent jujitsu. Her jujitsu is probably actually I will go ahead and say her jujitsu is better than Miranda Maverick's. However, Miranda has got the striking advantage, the power advantage, the wrestling advantage. So that wrestling will go ahead and nullify Robertson's jiu-jitsu. Granted, Miranda doesn't make any dumb mistakes and gets caught in an arm bar or knee bar or something ridiculous like that. If she's able to initiate good hips and defend against all takedown attempts, right? Create separation when Jillian tries to put her on the fence and grind her out, so the takedown using the fence. If she can create distance and continue striking, then I see Jillian succumbing to a whole bunch of shots, heavy shots, and being grounded and pounded to oblivion and being stopped in the second round.
Yeah, yeah. So again, Miranda Maverick. That's for the win. Either it's going to be a submission or I mean, fuck. I don't. Yeah, don't care. Miranda Maverick all the way. And there's nothing against Jillian Robertson, but I think this might be her unceremonious departure from the UFC roster after this one because it's not even a gatekeeper, and we went almost 3 months just to get this fight, and probably even longer to get this fight. So yeah, I'm a bit
One
annoyed.
one one thing that I can say about the Jillian the Savage, she's never lost back to back in the UFC. So because of that, she might be kept on the roster. You know what I mean? Because she's always able to get a win afterwards. So I don't know. I don't know. I,
Yeah,
I yeah. I think even in a loss, she might remain on the roster. I mean, who knows? We've seen people with a winning record get bounced by the UFC. So
yeah,
who knows?
yeah. It's a weird one. So Miranda Maverick for the win, consensus pick. Now I know exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm going to read out the stats. Thomas Almeida, 22-4 from Brazil, is the Tomasinas, and he is going up against the Sugar Show, Sugar Sean O'Malley, 12-1. But again, in Sean O'Malley's mind, he's 13-0 because
Hmm.
there's something that happens in Sean O'Malley's mind that might not be a part of reality, and that is what is going on here. So I am going to go Thomas Almeida for the win. I hope he KOs Sean O'Malley. You got no, yeah, and yeah, kudos to Sean O'Malley because you figured it out. You're almost like that Paige Van Zandt deal where you figured out a way to make more money outside of the UFC. So I don't think you need the UFC anymore. I do not want to see you in my UFC or any MMA promotion. So I'm going to Thomas Almeida KO. That's what I'm hoping. Right, that's not a technical
And
pick. I just want Sean O'Malley to get knocked out. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm about to play the devil's advocate, man. I'm going with Sean O'Malley. I'm going with Sean O'Malley.
Really?
Yes, I am, brother. Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Why
Just to make
so?
it interesting. Just to make it interesting.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is Thomas Almeida a fantastic, phenomenal striker? Yes, he is. He's a brilliant Muay Thai artist. Excellent jiu-jitsu. Brown belt in jiu-jitsu actually. Excellent striking, right? But one thing that I know about him is, for a young man, he's been through too many wars. He's been through too many wars.
I
And the
read.
thing about Sean O'Malley is he's precise. That's his gift. He doesn't have a gift of power, but he has precision. Just like Adesanya. Precision is his ally. And when he aims for that point, 9 times out of 10 he lands it. Right? So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Sugar Sean O'Malley land a straight to the jaw Thomas Almeida and drop him and then jump on his
Wow.
back and get a submission. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, what's the game plan for Thomas Almeida? Come in and bring some destructive not taekwondo, Muay Thai.
Muay
Come in
Thai.
there. Bring that Muay Thai. Bring that leg kick back. Bring that leg kick back. If you get lucky, you immobilize his leg like the other people have done. But understand that he's going to be preparing for that. He's going to be bringing that counter too. You throw that leg kick, he's throwing that counter too. He's got the reach. Sugar Sean has that reach to touch your chin. So
Yeah.
even though Thomas Almeida, an Achilles heel for Sugar Sean is that the weak leg that he has, right? But to touch them legs, man, you got to get in that distance, and you understand that he's been practicing touching that chin when you aim, when you attack the leg. So he's got a difficult task ahead of him. Even though Thomas Almeida is a more seasoned UFC veteran, it's not an easy fight for him. It's not an easy fight for him. And the UFC put him in there for a reason. They put him in there for a reason. He's on a 3-fight losing skid, right? One of them he was knocked out terribly. You know what I'm saying? The other two were unanimous decision losses, Ali. Right? Yeah. Unanimous decision losses. So, against Jonathan Martinez, his last loss. Sugar
Right.
Sean is similar to Jonathan Martinez. You know what I mean? He can outpoint him. He can out-finesse him. Right? Thomas Almeida, he is based on the traditional Muay Thai style. And I believe that is going to be his Achilles heel when he loses this match. If he doesn't get knocked out, he will lose again by unanimous decision. Because Sugar Sean understands distance. He's got great precision. And he's got enough power to knock him out. So I'm going to go on a limb and say Sugar Sean, unanimous decision victory.
I hope, and you made very valid points. I just, in my mind, I just don't want that to happen. I want, Almeida to knock out whatever. I want, Brazilians to go, 2 for 2 in the next 2 fights, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. Just because, not because there's technical whatever. It's just their opposition. It's Bill Watts to Jim Cornette, right? It's like hey Cornette, I used to think you were a dumbass, but I've met so many dumbasses since you that you've moved up the ladder without ever doing anything, right? So that's why I'm picking the 2 Brazilians for that, right? So there's that. So we are at the most boring fight of the evening. We have former UFC welterweight champion in Tyron Woodley against Vicente Luque. I'm going with Luque because I'm sorry. I loved when T. Woodley's run in Strikeforce as champion. He was super exciting and everything, and it's just like, he says things like he feels like his back against the wall when he was champion, whatever. But also, he put himself in positions where, he drew the ire of one Dana White in the UFC. Well, definitely Dana White. I'm not sure about what the internal brass was, right? And then also you piss off the fans by having boring fights. And we understand that, yes, high problem solving and whatever, but like if you're not entertaining, you cannot command for more dough. Just being the champion does not matter. Like, look at Megan Anderson, right? Right after her title contention, whatever, she's out of the UFC, right? So you can't, if you rely on a gimmick. Oh, I'm just a striker. I'm just a jiu-jitsu person. Just a wrestler. I'm just a champion. I have a decent social media following. Like none of those matter. You have to have all of those, right? The game has changed. Now, I applaud Tyron Woodley for doing things outside of the UFC. That's one thing that, much like Sugar Sean, he doesn't need the UFC at this point. I would hope he doesn't, right? I would hope he doesn't, because he's done things and went down routes to almost ensure that he was going to be set outside of his fighting acumen, right? And the game is changing, and it's changing rapidly. This is somebody who said in his 2 fights with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, this is exactly the style that I need to fight. To fight a dangerous striker as Wonderboy, right? Is I have to do slow and methodical, right? Well, that was what, 4 years ago, right? 4 years ago, I want to say, right? Those fights with Wonderboy, right? And in 4 years, right? MMA ages quicker than docs. It ages quicker than cell phone or any type of technology, right? The levels that basically rise, right? In such a short time, it's the speed of sound, right? It's breaking the sound barrier, right? 4 years might be like 15 and a half combat jiu-jitsu years, right? Or whatever, right? High level Muay Thai. There's kids right now that, can fucking, beat champions of yesteryear, without even breaking a sweat, right? So,
Yeah.
like, Sage Northcutt, right? As crazy and up and down his career has been, you put him in early day UFC, he would be a champion, no doubt in my mind, right? But
Yeah.
again, you have an optimal skill set from a time gone by, and I think that's where Tyron Woodley, even being a former champion, that's where he finds himself. So I want this, not to speak ill will of one Woodley, but I want it to be a decisive finish, so he can figure out what's next for his life and career. I the more that he does it, it's going to get to a point where he's going to get his head knocked off, right? Hopefully it happens here with Luque, right? Because imagine if he's able to etch out a win here, right? He's able to etch out a win, in his next 3, if not 4 fights, right? So we're going 2 years down the road, perceivably, right? And a 40-something-year-old Woodley against the next crop of talent, not going to be good. So this is a mercy kill. I'm going with Vicente Luque.
Okay. I totally understand why you picked Vincent Luque to win this match. Vicente Luque is a Terminator. He only knows he is called the silent assassin. He doesn't speak much. But he comes to handle business. His most recent losses has been to Leon Edwards, right? Unanimous decision by Leon Edwards. Hey, Leon Edwards, is a special individual. Excellent hands, excellent feet. He's just perfect for mixed martial arts. He evolves with the game at an appropriate pace. So Leon Edwards is going to be a problem for anyone. The next loss was Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now, Vicente Luque, if you cannot handle that lateral movement, that lead leg that I talk about, that left foot, and if your stance is the lead leg, period. If you can't handle that, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a problem. And that's what he ran into when he ran into Wonder Boy Thompson. Wonder Boy just, it was a highlight reel. It was a wonderful match for Wonder Boy. That fight was custom made for Wonder Boy to shine, and shine he did. Now we have a different case here. We have a different case here in Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley is a former champion, like you mentioned. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, right? Actually, he's lost 6 fights in a row. And let's look at the people that he lost to. Nate Marquardt. Nate Marquardt hit him with the most vicious combination of strikes that I've ever seen in my life, and took him out back in 2012. Then he got in there with Jake Shields, excellent grappler. Jake Shields put the pressure on him, the grappling pressure, and he found it difficult to respond to that. Roy McDonald, same type of individual, complete fighter, grew up in the gym. You know what I mean? Grew up in a mixed martial art gym, not any gym, a mixed martial art gym in Montreal, Quebec, or wherever he's from. Excellent jiu-jitsu, excellent grappling. Put it on Tyron Woodley, and guess what? Tyron didn't have anything. But then Tyron went on a winning streak, started knocking everybody out, knocking them out, won the title. You know what I mean? He was the man for quite some time, right?
Yep.
His hair blew up to be this big. His head was this big, too big for his shoulders, too big for his neck. Yeah, until he lost the title to Kamaru Usman, who is still the current champ. Then he got in there against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns ran right through him with that pressure. That pressure. And then Colby Covington, once again, that pressure. The 3 people that he's lost to most recently have brought nothing but pressure to him. Pressure. Pressure. And you know what they say? Pressure makes diamonds, right? And pressure can also bust pipes. Now, if Tyron Woodley goes back to what brought him to the dance, what he's best at, that wrestling. See, he fell in love with the power. He fell in love with the power. Yeah, Tyron, you got power. You got power. You know what I mean? You got power, but you ain't got no kicks, right? You ain't got no boxing. No kicks, no boxing, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So what does Tyron have to do to win this particular matchup? Tyron needs to go back to his roots and bring back that wrestling game. That wrestling game that held him. You know what I mean? Up until this point. Up until the point where he fell in love with power. Right? If he goes back to the wrestling, I mean, Vincente Luque, we already know what he's going to do. He's going to bring these dogs. He's going to bring these dogs, and he's going to try and punish him, right? He's going to try and break him. This is what he does, right? Stand with him until he does that. Double leg him, keep him on the ground, burn the clock. Ground and pound when you get a chance, burn the
Yep.
clock. This is what he needs to do. Is he going to do that? Is he going? Has he learned to calm his ego and let the game plan work? This is the question. Has he learned to calm his ego? Has a loss to Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns, Colby Covington, 3 losses in a row. Has that calmed his ego to the point where he can now win by attrition? This is up to this. I mean, I was listening to him the other day on one of those media scrum. He speaks of his coaches and him were able to find another gear. Like he's got another gear. When I hear something like that second gear, what you gonna use that gear for? For more of these? I don't think he's gonna do that. I think he's trying to secure a victory. And the best and safest way possible for him to secure a victory is to initiate that wrestling game. He needs to bring that wrestling back. Kind of like how Justin Timberlake brought sexy back in the 90s. Tyron needs to bring that wrestling back. I'm bringing wrestling back. Yep, that's what he needs to do. If he can do that, he will secure a victory. And I'm banking on him to do that. It's going to be an ugly match, but I'm banking on him to out-wrestle Vincente Luque, burn the clock, and steal a victory. I will go with Tyron Woodley to win this one.
I love it. I love that you said that Justin Timberlake brought sexy back in the 90s because I think he was still in NSYNC. So just saying. I mean, if we're talking early 90s, hell, that motherfucker was still on the Mickey Mouse Club. Him and Britney. So there you go. Just saying. Just saying. But one thing that I definitely can say is we are at the main events of the evening. We have former UFC title contender, the Cameroonian Francis the Predator Ngannou, and he is going up against the defending UFC World Heavyweight Champion, Stipe Miocic. And this one is a big old question mark in my mind because I mean this is the perpetual fight, right? Styles make fights. That's something that you uttered, Voodoo, a few short minutes ago, right? So with that all being said, the way this is going to go down is if it's finished within 2.5 rounds, it's Francis. We got new. Okay? If it goes beyond, if we get late into the third, right? Into the third, fourth, or whatever, it's going to play out exactly the way that it played out last time. And yes, they are different fighters from the first time that they clashed in the octagon, right? But again, with there's levels to this shit. Well, guess what? Stipe's level might be that much higher of Francis, even on his good day, right? And that's nothing against Francis. That's nothing against his raw, unabashed power that he possesses. He just puts people to fucking sleep. He is almost like Deontay Wilder of the UFC, but even stronger, right? Where he can fucking touch you and you fucking go into another orbit, right? So just ask Alistair Overeem, right? So yeah, man, there's levels, but then there was something that Marcus Marinelli, Stipe's head coach, said in the last UFC Embedded. I want to say UFC Embedded 3 or 4, but he said the last 4 years have been dedicated to fighting two guys, Francis and the two DCs, right? So that also, I mean, if you're kind of locked up like that, are the challengers so great, or is there a hole in the plan, right? Like that DC beat you or whatever, right? But DC kind of exposed that you are beatable. People were considering you one of the greatest heavyweights of all time before that. And DC, who isn't naturally a heavyweight, and maybe in girth, but not in stature, he KO'd you. Right? So Francis got power, and he's got takedown defense. And I think that takedown defense is going to carry him through, smelling like roses, the first 2.5 rounds. Right? He's going to look great. He's going to look like not so much like cardio or whatever, but like he's going to look great. Right? And it's in there that he's going to secure a finish. But if it goes beyond, if we get what is it, 3-minute rounds, 5-minute rounds, right? Okay, so if we get past 250 in the third round, it's Stipe, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. And now Francis can prove me wrong, but I'm gonna MMA math the shit out of this one. I say Stipe's got it. He's the superior wrestler, not just a particular trait of wrestling in takedown defense, right? He knows the whole gamut, right? Has trained it since day one, right? Like, he's not even fucking losing sleep. He still maintains his job as a firefighter full time. This is Francis Ngannou's full-time job, right? So He believes in his wrestling so much that he doesn't even have to do anything beyond, you know. So, but
Yeah,
then again, Francis has all the time to improve on his wrestling. Has enlisted
exactly.
Extreme Couture.
Hmm.
So that right there is the variable.
Hmm. Um. So you got Stipe.
No,
Who you got?
I've like I said, this is a split. This is Francis. If the fight is over before the second half of the third round,
Hmm.
so if we're going beyond 250 in the third round, oh,
Hmm.
it's Stipe. But if it's finished any sooner, it's Francis.
Hmm. Okay, now check this out. Check this out. Um, I think it's Francis, and this is I'll tell you why I think it's Francis. A reckless and out of control and untrained Francis went 25 minutes with him.
Yeah,
25 minutes. Reckless, untrained, not focused, no coaching. Should I keep going? A pathetic Francis Ngannou went 25 minutes with him. 25 minutes. Pathetic Francis. Now, Francis has been training, what, some 3 years for this guy, right? Right? Absolute focus on this one guy, right? Now, what are the ways to victory for Francis Ngannou? Very, very basic. It's more basic than you think. One, he has to be patient. He can't just go in there look for the knockout. That's the most important one, right? And unfortunately, it's the hardest thing to do, to be patient, right?
yeah,
Two, two, kickboxing. That's it. That's it. He needs to go after those legs and chop those legs down, right? What is Stipe great at? Boxing. When was the last time you saw Stipe kick anyone? He doesn't kick. Stipe does. He's not even flexible. Did you see him stretching with his? He lacks flexibility. I don't even think he can kick above his waist, right? But Francis can. So why is Francis not initiating that kicking game? Why are you just overslugging? There's no need to overslug. Be patient. Chop him down. Go after those legs. Take away his explosion. Once you take away his explosion, he won't be able to run like he did last time. Chop his legs in the first, second, and third round, and then go after him in the fourth and fifth round with ferocity. This is the game plan. It's very basic. He's going to shoot within those times. Be ready. Because you're not going to be rushing in like you did last time, pick your shots, box him, kickbox him. If he can do this, he will destroy Stipe. Destroy. All Stipe did the last time was wait for him to swing and counter. Stipe never really pressed the match. Ngannou was the only one chasing like a like a chicken with his head cut off. But I don't know what his coaching is going to be like, what his game plan is, but it's very simple. Ngannou's a dynamic individual. I mean, the man is 260 pounds of solid muscle,
yeah.
carved out of marble and granite. You know what I mean? A specimen. Now, does he have the kickboxing or the Muay Thai? He doesn't even need Muay Thai. All he needs is kickboxing. He needs to kick this man's legs. Yes, there's a threat of him grabbing your leg and taking you down. Do not let that bother you. Kick him anyway. Kick him anyway. And go right through him. This is the only way he can beat Stipe. If he does not kick those legs, he will not beat Stipe because Stipe will have his legs and Stipe will run and Stipe will shoot whenever he has the opportunity. The only way to beat Stipe is to take his legs away, and he has to chop at him. He has to chop at him. Imagine Ngannou throwing a calf kick. Imagine that kind of damage he can cause. You know what I mean? I don't know if they see what I see. If they see what I see, Ngannou wins in the fourth round. Stoppage.
Ooh. Fuck it. You made a very, very good point. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna jump on the voodoo train. Chug it, chug it, chug it, chug it, chug it. Fuck it.
But the
Nunganu.
thing is, The thing is, will he execute kickboxing and chop those legs? If he chops those legs, it's gonna be easy, clear sailing, man. Easy.
That motherfucker is probably the closest that we're gonna get to fucking John Henry. You know, the motherfucker that wrestled a fucking bull. I mean, of course, it's kind of mythology and everything like that, but that's Francis Ngannou. So
Straight
if
up.
if John Henry can take out the bull named Blue and wrestle that motherfucker in the sky, that's what I'm going to bestow on Francis. So I think, I mean, hell, he might even send Stipe into that orbit that blew the fucking John Henry, bull is in, like somewhere in Uranus. I mean, what? So, yes, we're gonna get a new champion come Saturday night.
Most deaf.
Hell yes.
A third African champion.
Yeah, dude, they fucking kicked DC out. Like, if this shit was like the fucking, the African Avengers and shit like that, they're like, DC straight out said, who's like, hey, I want to be a part of the African tribe. And Francis is like, no, you're not African. Do you have passport? Do you have citizenship? No. So, yeah. So I'm just saying. Usman, Adesanya, and Ngannou, right? So it took every bit of.
He's like, you're not African enough.
He said it. I was just like,
you're not African.
African enough. Yeah. You are not African. I was like, fucking check him. Check him. And what's DC gonna say? Right? He's like, I'm retiring because I might have to fight fucking Francis. That's facts. So what? So your belt and your culture. You are not us. You are not us. This shit is worse than the Kembe Mutombo. No. Fucking. That's essentially Ngannou fucking Mutombo fucking DC. No. So.
You are not African enough.
No.
You are not African enough.
Yeah.
No.
So. That's where we are. But yes, that is the UFC 260 preview of Voodoo in the Woods. Now, before we go, a nice little bit of news, right? If you like news, the news fairy and basically dropped a gem on us. I want to say it was early yesterday, it was announced that former UFC and Strikeforce women's bantamweight champion, a legend in Miesha Tate, is going to be back in the octagon after a 5-year hiatus and returning to face the Belizean Marianne Renault, right? So this one, I feel weird about, because, I mean, much like Rich Franklin, right? Miesha Tate was a person in personnel in ONE FC over in Asia, right? So I don't know. Was there and she was living there. She wasn't living in the U.S. She was living overseas, right? Had her babies, got married overseas, right? So now she's back after a 5-year hiatus. And I went in the Wikipedias and found out that Miesha Tate is only 34. She's accomplished so much, and she's only 34. Yes. Right? So, yes, she's young. Yes, she's trained. But I think the move in having Renault as her final opponent, Renault was talking about it. It was like she got into mixed martial arts because of Miesha Tate and dreamed of fighting her one day. And this is the last fight on her contract. So regardless of whatever, and we were kind of calling for it after the last loss against Macy, I believe it was last week, right? This is a pretty quick turnaround. Well, I mean, it's not happening for another month or so, but even still, pretty quick turnaround for Marianne Renault, right? But I think it's a perfect fight because the backstory of Renault, basically, I mean, Renault is somebody that is successful beyond the UFC. almost like Julia Avila. Her like she makes
Hmm.
enough, more than enough in her non-fighting job, right? So she doesn't need to be kind of appreciated in this manner, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think it's awesome, and then I think it's a good test back for Misha. But after you get beyond Marion Renault, even though Misha is younger, this why are you like why are you coming back? Because again, at the top of the food chain, it, but she was an executive at One FC. So what does that say, right? Did they not pay her? There's something that's amiss here for me. For me, there's something that's amiss. So you think
She's
it's the
not
money,
famous enough anymore. If
but
it ain't the money, it's the fame. If it ain't the money, it's the fame. You know what I mean? She's not recognized like she used to be. She went to Asia for the money, right? She got the money, right? Now nobody knows her anymore. She comes to California or she comes to America. She's walking around. Nobody's asking for autographs. You know what I mean? She's got a problem with that. And like you said, she's young, right? And the way she lost to Amanda Nunes, perhaps she's not satisfied. That hasn't she hasn't gotten that out of her system. So we come back, we fight Renault, beat Renault, and then advocate for another title match. This is a match that they will make, but unfortunately, it is to her detriment because one thing that she didn't have when she was younger was speed. Now that she's older, I'm guessing she still doesn't have speed. The reason why she lost against Amanda Nunes was not because she lacked skill. She has all the skill in the world to beat Amanda Nunes. Unfortunately, she lacks speed. And in this game, speed is killing. Amanda Nunes has got all the speed, all the power, and she will destroy your brain if you let her. If you get back in there with Amanda Nunes, with the wrestling defense that she has now, she will put you in a body bag. So please, please, stay pretty. Stay pretty. Don't step in with Amanda Nunes. She will break your nose. She will break your face. She will end your career in a worse way. You think you're looking bad now? She will make you look a lot worse. So please, don't even think about stepping in there with Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes will end you.
yeah, it and again, so even and no disrespect to Marion Renault, right? But she is hardly, hey, you win, you get title shot, right? She's not a title contender, right? She's in the top 10, but she's not a title contender, right? And she's out of the top 10 because of the loss to Macy Barber. I mean, I'm sorry, Macy Chiason. Why did I go Barber?
Hmm.
I don't know, right?
Whatever.
But I mean, let's look at this, right? So Marion Renault, right, at number 15, right? Then you've got Alexis Davis, who's in PFL, I want to say, right?
Yes.
Then you've got
Yes.
Pane Kinezad, right? Okay, that might work. Macy Chiason, that may work, right? But then you get into the Lena Landsberg, right? You will get into the Ketlin Vieira, Yana Kutskaya, Aspen Ladd,
Hmm.
Irene Aldana,
Hmm.
Juliana Pena, Raquel Pennington,
Hmm.
Holly Holm, Drain
Hmm.
DeMartinamine. And then
Hmm.
obviously sitting up top is Amanda Nunes. So it's not when she's gonna have real problems getting into that. I mean, when she gets into that top 10.
She won't have any problems if she wants a title match after if she beats the 43-year-old. She can get the title shot. You know why? She's pretty. One, two. She's a former champion. That's two. And she's already beaten Holly Holmes, right? So two, she's a former
Yep.
champion. Three, three. This is a rematch. This is a rematch. This can sell. It can sell. It's all about the promotion machine. If they put that promotion machine behind her, I mean, she's good on the mic. She looks good. She talks good. She's got a platform. You know what I mean? They can sell this. They can sell it. She just has to perform really well against Renault. she does really well against Renew, like get a submission or something like that, like say in the second round or in the first round, they'll be like, "Oh, she's back. She's better than sliced bread." Blah 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 blah. Put that promotion machine behind her. She'll leapfrog everyone and get in the front of the line and get that title shot, and voila, we've got a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? It's about making money. They can sell it. They can sell it. She's just got to impress when she beats Renew.
There you go. So, I just, she was a higher up, right? I get sad when I see that, right? I get sad when there was a time when, Sugar Ray Sefo, MMA and kickboxing legend in his own right? But the president of the then World Series of Fight, now the PFL, but he would corner guys. He's the president of the company, cornering guys in the UFC and Bellator. You're not going to see that out of Dana White. Dana White started as a trainer, right? You're not going to see Dana White cornering somebody in another organization. That is not going to happen. So, it gets weird.
We can't even use Dana White in this talk.
No, but
no fighter.
No, he's not a fighter, right? But he was a trainer, right? He ain't no
trainer either. Dana
yeah,
White
cardio kickboxing is a thing. Look at Billy Blanks' bank account, and you tell me what sells. Just saying, right? So, with that all being said, even that fucking Shaq's fucking big ass, 7-foot ass.
Billy Blanks used to do things, man. Back in the karate, he was a world champion karate, man. He's got a crazy roundhouse kick that would knock your head off. You know what I mean? His front kicks were deadly too. Billy Blanks he's not just a Thai boy dude. He was a former world champion.
No, but but Dana White has even more than him.
Kickboxing.
Okay.
Dana
right?
White has what?
More everything. More everything.
I'll give you money.
Okay.
What?
Will you give me money? Let me hold $1 though.
No. I mean, like, Dana White has more money than him. I'll give you that.
Yes.
But
right.
anything in regards to combat, nah. Billy Blanks
this is
that ass.
You know what this is, right? This is the you and the Don McGuire, Conor McGregor versus James Krause debate.
Yeah.
This is what this is. And I'm gonna pull on you. You said McGregor has more money than Krause? Well, yeah. Billy Blanks might have a wicked fucking front sidekick or whatever the fuck, but Dana White has more fucking. He doesn't have to fucking throw a fucking sidekick. He makes all these badasses dance, jump how high. That beats a fucking sidekick Tybo any damn time. So it's the power of the pencils.
I'll give him that.
Yeah. So you can.
It's as they say, man. The pen is truly mightier than the sword. So
it is.
I agree.
It is. So, but that's why I'm sad for Tate coming back. Right. If she couldn't make money as an exec over in one, what does that say about even? Let's say she gets another title shot. When is it over? Right. There might be a 14-year-old right now training for Misha Tate, a 16-year-old, a fucking Clarissa Shields, right? Say PFL comes, say fucking Judo Kayla comes over, right? Judo Kayla, whatever, and fucking slams her ass right on her fucking neck. What does that say? When is it time? When is it time? So, I'm very sad because if it is a money thing, right? Guess what? Chuck Liddell came back for money.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sit right with me.
And
it's
you see, that's the thing. That's the thing about Warriors, man. Warriors, they it's hard for them to see the end of the rainbow. You know what I mean? Because that warrior instinct is so strong within them. That fire never stops burning. But then the shell that surrounds the fire, that becomes weak, and that usually goes. The fire still burns, it burns bright, but then the shell is never the same, you know. And I don't know. It makes no sense to me either. It makes no sense to me either. But she's gonna do what she wants to do, and the
Yeah.
fact that her age is so young, they will allow her to do it because they don't look at the body of work, the body of damage that she's taken over the years. They don't look at that. They just look at the age. Oh, she's in her 30s. Oh, she's in her prime, even though she's way past her prime because of the damage. I mean, the example that I always give in this kind of matters is myself and my coach Brian Peterson. I am older than Brian Peterson, right? But I am younger than Brian Peterson. Why? Brian Peterson has been competing in wrestling since he was like 13, 12, or whatever. You know what I mean? He even fought professionally. He's taken so much damage that he is older than me, right? But I am actually, chronologically, I'm older. But he is physically older than me because of the damage that he's taken. So we can't look at age. Nevada Athletic Commission or whoever Athletic Commission, this is what you got to look at. You got to look at the body of damage that these people have taken, the losses, how they lost. You know what I mean? If you're able to look at that, then you should think about giving who a license.
Yeah. I love that we got out of your assessment of the deal. We've got Shellfire. So, unfortunately, if we were looking for a big diesel company like Shell to sponsor this fucking podcast, there it goes right out the window, right? We got the CM Punk kill switch engage kind of tipping of the hat. This fire still burns, right? A lot of fire references. I feel like I'm on NWA and we're going into the fire. This is a Dawkins song. So, shit, man. I don't, it's sad. But what's sad is motherfuckers that are going to pay $90 in a fucking pandemic. We know where people's damn stimmy money is going, right? For like a fucking 5-fight main card. But that's where we are. So we are. But what we will be is back here on Sunday to kind of assess this whole damn thing and what happened. This could be one of the best fights cards or not. So before we get there, Voodoo, where can they find you on social media?
Well, that's quite easy, my friend. You can find me on YouTube, Voodoo Maximus, Facebook page, Voodoo Maximus, Instagram, Voodoo Maximus, Twitter / Periscope, Voodoo Maximus.
Yes, and I'm According to Woods, and you can find me at all the places that Voodoo said and might go. Whoa, that didn't sound right. But you can find me in all places at According to Woods. But if you're in the following and subscribing deal, we warmly encourage you to subscribe to the Voodoo in the Woods podcast on Facebook and YouTube. Voodoo, obviously. This is not nepotistic, right? You're subscribed to the podcast, aren't you?
Of course.
Damn right, as am I. So be like us and go ahead and subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will see you on Sunday with more Voodoo and